this time, in post-tensioning, we are processing the stressing after the concrete has been placed and hardened. So we are using an anchor in order to stress the tendon. So as you can see in the figure, ito yung ating in the photo. These are the strands, and then we are stressing it after the concrete has hardened. So the duct of strands are placed before the pouring of the concrete. So unlike for the pre-tensioning, wherein the process of pre-stressing is conducted on before the concrete has hardened. So in post-tensioning, the concept is that the same as the concept of pre-stressing. Post-tensioning is one of the methods of pre-stressing. So it will help to navigate the procedure of pre-stressing, helps to navigate, negate the deflection of the section and other effects due to the other applied loads. As you can see here, once the beam is loaded with different types of loads, gravity loads, so you would notice that the neutral axis of the beam will tend to sag. So that is called deflection. And once the press stressing is applied, you apply anchorage stress or stress at the anchorage. Once the press stressing is applied, the tendency of the beam is to camber. So that is resisting the different gravity loads. Aside from the loads, the gravity loads, we add press stressing. So that will make the beam behave in such a way that the press stressing tendons will be the one to counteract the excess loads which has to be carried by the concrete section. So any excess load or any excess stresses uh, which cannot be resisted by the concrete alone and the reinforcement of the concrete alone will be supported or will be resisted by the press stressing. So that would mean, all in all, if you have the gravity loads, the behavior of the beam will be this way. If you have the gravity loads and you have the press stressing at the end of each beam, then the tendency of the press stressing is that it will make the beam behave in balanced condition. So, yung ating deflection, mas nababawasan nawawala yung deflection natin because the press stressing strand will be the one to resist the applied loads or the gravity loads. Okay, how does the post-tensioning system go about? How do we go about with the post-tensioning? The anchorage system lock the strand in place after tensioning. As you can see here, we have a duct here. So the strands or the press stressing strands are placed in a duct. And then you have the bearing plate, you have the trumpet, you have the strand wedges, the anchor head, and the grout cap. So itong grout inlet natin dito with the grout cap, pag inopen natin dyan, dito tayo naglalagay ng concrete. Once we place the press stressing strands inside the duct, naglalagay tayo ng grout dito sa inlet na to para malagyan na natin ng concrete itong portion na yan. Okay? So the grout injection port will be, dito tayo maglalagay ng concrete. So itong portion na to nalalagyan natin ng concrete. Okay. So the trumpet can be galvanized sheet metal or plastic. In the post-tension system ducts, the ducts are placed inside the concrete and it forms a continuous void before the wiry strands are placed inside it after concrete pouring. So this serves as an additional layer of protection to prevent corrosion of the strands. And normally they are using corrugated metal or corrugated plastic. So in grouting, the grout is permanently sealing the strands in the anchorage. This helps bond the strands and the concrete, and it is considered an immediate protection against corrosion of steel strands. However, if you are going to compare it with the press dressing, post tensioning is much costlier because of the additional equipment that you have to provide, particularly for grouting and for the anchorage. So in the press dressing, I will not discuss it anymore because I already have discussed it with you. The press dressing started by Eugen Presenay in 1928. So he was the one who patented the idea of pretensioning the high strength steel wire. And then the double cantilever bridge method was introduced by Orlis Piston Walder, after the World War II. And then the load balancing method has been a revolutionary way of stressing concrete, which was introduced in 1963. So what